say it hasn't stopped. I mean, literally, people texting me like crazy, people messaging me on Twitter and Instagram and stuff. Nick Diaz, when is it? I want to get tickets. Journalists, is the fight happening? Right. So, what are the rumors? What have you seen? As I say, I just came back from Australia, so I was so busy the whole time I was there. I stepped off the plane and immediately went to work. I had a workout at the gym, and then I was at it, gym to gym to gym. UFC Gym Australia. If you live in Sydney, go check it out. They're awesome. But I didn't have time. Haven't really. I've been a little bit absent from social media, all that type of stuff. What is the rumors? What is going around?
Okay, so ChrisCyborg.com is reporting, which
is always a solid, reputable news place. But if it's on ChrisCyborg.com, hey, CNN has nothing on that.
Shit. Is this her website, or did somebody buy that domain and just...
No, I believe it is her website. It's also a part of, it's her website.
They do news, and it's like, I guess, the BJPenn.com is the same thing.
Yeah. I think it's run by the same people that do BJPenn.com.
Weird. So it's like they basically
I've had a few issues with BJPenn.com over the years, so maybe they're just putting all the shit now on ChrisCyborg.com.
Yeah. So let's see.
Site.
This is what they are reporting right here. Let's see. Rumor Michael Bisping to fight Nick Diaz in retirement fight. This is from April 23rd. News of this first leaked on the infamous Underground. Another very reputable source. However, our sources have said both sides would be interested in this fight, while Ent Imports released news that preliminary discussions for this bout has already started taking place. I don't even know what the fuck that is. Do you know what?
ENT Imports, which is like one of the worst websites ever. These clickbaiting motherfuckers. They're the worst. They're the worst. There's a certain MMA website which you continually promote on our on our podcast, Lewis, which shall remain nameless.
MMAmania.com?
Who?
No, nothing.
What did you say? I didn't hear you.
I said MMAmania.com.
Yeah, that's the one. You just can't help yourself, can you? Go fuck yourself and your bald head. Yeah, ENT Imports, though, are even worse. Even worse, because it is the worst clickbait ever. You know how I know it's the worst clickbait ever? Because I click on it, because they get me.
Yeah.
They get me with these bullshit headlines, and then I read it. I'm like, this is nothing. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
So they're even worse. Okay.
USADA cleared Diaz to compete as of 420, ironically. And UFC is looking at making Bisping versus Diaz fight happen possibly this summer in Los Angeles. They got a location, they got a fucking date, they got everything.
You know why?
What?
It's true.
No.
It is. I'm fighting Diaz in LA.
No, you're just fucking saying that. You wouldn't say that.
For the sake of people that want to take a little clip and make this go fucking viral, I am fighting Nick Diaz.
Do you have a date? Do you have a specific date?
No, I'm not fighting Nick Diaz at all. It's total bullshit.
Damn it.
I haven't spoken to the UFC about anything. They haven't come to me. In fact, I'm a little bit offended, the Ultimate Fighting Championship. What the fuck? No, I'm probably retired. I just haven't made it official. So here's the deal with Nick Diaz. Excuse me. A while ago, pardon me. A while ago, it was after I first won the belt. Was it after I won the belt or after I beat Henderson? I'm not sure. One or the other. I was in New York and
Sirius XM.
No, that wasn't why I was there. I was doing some PR stuff for the UFC and went to a club actually with a friend of mine, a couple of friends, and lo and behold, there was Nick Diaz. Great guy. We hung out. We had some drinks. We had a good time, and he suggested that we should fight each other at 170. And I'm like, well, I can't do 170. So we were talking about a catch weight. I said, Nick, I'd love to, man. You've got a huge name in this sport, you know. And it was a very pleasant conversation. There was no nastiness, you know what I mean? There was no bitching. I was like, come on, dude, you have to come up. I'm making 185 kills me and this and that. But really, we were just, I think more than anything, we were just having fun with it. And it never materialized into any actual real discussion of a fight. And of course, since then, he got banned or suspended. That whole thing with the weed, which was ridiculous, absolutely ridiculous. Fortunately, the commissions did the right thing and he's back. But I don't know where these rumors started. I don't know who started it, but it's bullshit. I haven't heard a single thing. UFC haven't reached out. Management haven't reached out. No one said anything. No word whatsoever. As I say, I haven't made my mind up completely, but I'm very, very close to retirement.
Look, with these things, where there's smoke, there's fire. I don't think I've ever heard of a rumor that started from absolute fucking nothing. So it has to originate from somewhere, right? And would that be, second question, is that if the UFC came to you right now, because that's as big as a fight as you can get. I mean, dude, that's Nick Diaz coming out of retirement. It's very comparable to GSP coming out of retirement. We know the reason you took that fight. This is something that you was such a long time in the making. Is that something that would interest you if the UFC came to you and made you that big offer?
Yeah, here's the thing. Listen, Nick Diaz is, I was going to say one of the legends of the sport. I'm just trying to think if I agree with that statement.
Yes.
I don't. You think so? Yeah.
Legend. Yes, 100%. Legend of the sport. Nick Diaz, dude, fought fucking everywhere. Been in the UFC since back in the day. Knocked out Robbie Lawler. Fucking went to Pride. Choked out Gomi.
Right. No, the guy's one of the original old school fighters. And what I like about Nick Diaz and Nate Diaz, the Diaz brothers, they're real fighters. They are real fighters, and they come to fight every time. They're always entertaining. They say a lot of controversial shit, but they're real fighters. They're not trying to pretend to be something. They're not trying to pretend. They don't do MMA because they think it's cool. They're not jumping on the bandwagon. That's who they are. They're fucking fighters. They'll throw down at a moment's notice, whether it's in a octagon or on the street. They are fighters. Simple as that. And that's what I respect about them. I've said many times these days, I'm not sold on that everyone is fighters these days. There's some people that claim to be martial artists. Martial arts and fighters are two very different things, if you ask me. And even still, some of the people that are fighters, whatever, they're not in the same vein that I am, or Nick Diaz, or Nate Diaz, and a lot of other people in the UFC as well. I think maybe just because I'm one of the more old school guys, I just kind of have a maybe a bit of favoritism for the more old school guys. But Nick Diaz is someone that I definitely respect, and if there was a possibility of that fight, then for sure I would accept it. People would want to see that. The only issue is that I don't think I'm ever. If I do fight, then I want it at 205, and I don't think Nick would do 205 because making 185, for the last 10 years, that's pretty. It's been so hard. Making 185 for me is not an easy task. It's not an easy task at all. And if I'm going to fight one more time, it's going to be at light heavyweight. Or I do a catch weight, maybe a 195 or whatever. But making 185 for me is too hard. So if Nick would be willing to come up, then I'll do it. I'll accept. If he comes up to 195 or something like that, I'm down. I'm in. Sign me up.
And the truth is, everybody's got their price. So for enough money, I think you drop the extra 10 pounds. Come on. You'd have to.
Yeah.
Of course you would. Who are you talking to? I don't know what's happening. It's Nick Diaz. He just punches you in the face.
Yeah. No. Well, listen, everything's got a price. Everything's got a price, of course. But I'm just saying, for me personally, I'd rather fight at 205. Yeah. If I'm going to fight again, I'm probably retired, Luz. I know I'm probably driving everyone crazy with this. Certainly reporters ask me all the time. I honestly don't know. If something comes along, great. But I need to make my mind up and make that official and move on with the rest of my life, or get a fight. I was supposed to fight in London. Never happened. Book me a fight and let's go. If not, fuck it. Let's move on. But Nick Diaz, just for the record, officially, and for everybody that texts me and asks me, because I think some of them don't believe me. They think I'm holding out some kind of, big information. So, no, I'm not fighting Nick Diaz. UFC haven't reached out. No official word of that.
All right, let's talk about one of our other sponsors, which is Infinite CBD. Infinite CBD is a great company. You guys probably have been hearing about CBD being on the market now, which it's basically non-psychoactive marijuana. So you're not going to get high off of it. It's not a drug. This isn't something you have to hide from your parents or your mom or your job or your boss or whatever. Infinite CBD offers the cleanest, healthiest, and purest form of CBD available. Michael Bisping?
Yes, absolutely. No, I completely agree, Lou. Sorry, I was just reading some of this stuff. I'm going to give you the scientific breakdown here, so pay attention. But here's what CBD is. When a disease starts to take over our body, it will create an imbalance within your endocannabinoid body system. As I say, try and keep up. The CBD works to get those systems to balance back to where they should be, which is healthy working condition. Research shows that CBD has helped people who have arthritis, chronic pain, inflammation, Lyme disease, addiction, insomnia, diabetes, high blood pressure, PTSD, and of course, many, many others.